Hello, I'm Elicia Maine from the Beedie School of Business here at SFU. I'm very much an interdisciplinary researcher with a background in materials engineering as well as in innovation management. And I'd like to tell you today a little bit about our teaching and research programs that have to do with commercializing science, taking that ball and making it into products and services that can add value to society. This is out from a workbook that I did out of my PhD thesis. And I think that's about 20 seconds. Maybe not. Maybe I'm a quicker talker than I thought. Good. Well, let me know that there's a lot of people here who are researchers in the audience. Did I have to press F5? Because I really think that's more than 20 seconds. There we go. A lot of researchers in the audience. Can you put up your hand if you have ever had interest in either taking current or previous research that you've done? And fantastic. And seeing it come to life in products or services that create value for society. Put up your hand if that would be a good thing in your mind, your research. Okay, and keep it up if you've actually been able to do that, if you've had the chance to do that. Fantastic, wonderful. Well, we have out of our Management of Technology MBA program that we run downtown, part-time cohort over 2 years, we've had several students who have done just that. They come in with a science or engineering background, and they're able to commercialize their products and services. And this is one example we're very proud of. This is Saltworks. This is Ben Sparrow and Josh Zosi, who met in our Management MBA. Ben had a working prototype at the time of a very small desalination unit, which is now, they count amongst their clients. They're a successful clean tech company, counting amongst their clients NASA. And
Just advance it here.
Just on F5?
Or just hit the right button to advance when you want.
Okay, perfect.
It's not working.
Okay, well, there you go. I get all the time I want, apparently. Sorry. Here's another example of our MOT MBA alum. This is Scott Larson, who started Earthcast. He's the founder and CEO of it, and they have just installed their cameras on the International Space Station and are about to be able to stream live web feed around the clock from the International Space Station for all sorts of applications. And speaking of the International Space Station, this is Chris Hadfield, who was the commander of the International Space Station for 6 months, I think in 2013, and is famous for playing his guitar in space. He was in town the week before last speaking about leapfrog innovation and talking about how important it was for us to get behind radical innovation and some of the policies that could do that, and basically making sure that Canadians realize the importance of these kinds of things. And one of the companies that is good at radical innovation, an exemplar for them, is Genentech. And last year we took a trip to Silicon Valley. We took our MOT MBA graduating class there to tour some of the innovation exemplars that we had studied in our various classes. This is Genentech, and they are very, very good. We got a chance to spend most of a day with their VPs of research and with the person who runs their manufacturing facility, their facility that we were touring here, where they look at trying to scale up ideas. And one of the things that makes them so incredibly innovative is, we had a lot of fun. One of the things that makes them so incredibly innovative is their postdoc program, where they're able to balance, they resource it very heavily, and they tell their postdocs only to work on blue sky innovation, can't be related to their product lines. And the way that they look at their technology portfolio management, the way they look at which projects they resource and which ones they move forward, is a piece of what allows them to balance radical innovation with incremental innovation. We went to other innovation exemplars, including Google, and we contrasted. We had studied both Google and Apple in class, in the innovation class, and we were able to contrast the very different innovation cultures that lead both of them to be innovation exemplars. With Google, a very collaborative culture, spending 20% of your time, of your theoretical time, on projects of your interest, building up ideas. Apple being extremely secretive, to the point where most people can't stay in the new product development meeting, and they don't name new product development products by name, they name them by secret codes. And so you might have to get up and leave when people that you're managing, in fact you often do, talk about products that you're not allowed to know about because you haven't been cleared. So very different formulas and cultures for innovation excellence. Some of us also got to tour the Tesla manufacturing facility for their Tesla electric vehicle, which was fascinating. All the things that I had studied at MIT when I was looking at technology policy and material science, the scale up of different types of new innovations with aluminum manufacturing was in place in that facility. The lithium-ion battery modules, fascinating. And here's one of their Model S's out front with a well-known model leaning up against them. Bringing this innovation back home, another one of our MOT MBA alumni, Cody Baker, who was on that trip, has a working prototype of a product they're calling Velo Metro. Well, the company's Velo Metro, this is Velo Car. And this is a working prototype. It is a commuter vehicle. It is basically, it enables you to it's a three-wheeled vehicle that is electric. It's electrically powered, so it's basically an electric car. It's got some room to take things with you, but it's classified as an electric bicycle. And so it means you don't need a driver's license. It means that you can park at all sorts of places. Very innovative concept. And here's the concept for the rest of the enclosed part of the vehicle, which they're working on right now with some of the materials development they're actually working on at UBC at the moment, but they're mostly loyal to SFU. They are hoping they have a business model around this for a fleet of commuter vehicles, which will be sort of the car-to-go type model, except you won't need a driver's license. So opens up all sorts of possibilities, opens up, it's a very green solution and suitable for Vancouver. Research is along particularly biotech, nanotech, advanced materials, and clean tech innovations that share in common that they have very high technical risks and uncertainties. They have long time frames from invention to commercial marketplace, and they have very high commercialization costs. The R&D costs per se might not be as high, but getting them to the next step across what people call the valley of death, extremely daunting. And so it becomes even more important to have early stage prioritization of research and development and to think about your expansion and your scale up well beyond, to get market information in well beyond the time that you have to invest in those extremely expensive scale-up costs in pilot and full manufacturing facilities. So one of the tools that we use in our research to do this is technical economic cost modeling, which links process variables and scenarios of what you can do in R&D to production variables to market viability. I've done some work there with Eric Chiang in mechatronics on some of the work he's doing in fuel cells, and also a little bit with Božena Kaminska in solar cells. I also look at the business model variations among very high value creators and low value creators. And this is in nanomaterials firms. I've also done it in different advanced materials and fuel cell firms. And we look at what things the high value creators have in common. And we go out and we interview the CEOs and other members of the companies, and we look at extensive secondary data on the firm to make these kind of decisions. And we found in that kind of analysis one exemplar of a high-value creator in nanomaterials called Nanogram with a subsidiary, Neurophotonics, which was the piece that became useful. And it had a very innovative organizational structure, which we have found to be replicable. And so what they do, they have an IP company across the top, which focuses on process R&D and the IP around that. It focuses on alliance creations. They go to a lot of trade shows. They bring potential alliance partners to the market verticals who are actually focused, very tightly focused on one market. They go down the value chain into manufacturing in that market. And these two were wholly separate. So they're subsidiaries that are wholly separately owned, separately financed at some management once they've scaled up. And that allows the firm several chances at success. So the general model, you can think about this, if you can have an IP licensing venture, and sometimes a university technology licensing office can actually act in this capacity, but as a firm, you can be, if you have a broad technology that can be applied to many different applications in many different industries, like switch materials that's come out of SFU, you can have this kind of organizational structure that allows you to perhaps sell off one of the market verticals, as Nanogram did, which allows you to have several chances to raise more financing from venture capitalists and have several chances at success, which is important in a highly uncertain environment. So for these types of frameworks and many others about innovation, we want to teach them to more of our scientists and engineers, or at least have them available to them to learn. And so to that end, we're launching a part-time commercialization certificate this September. It's the first time we're doing it. It's going to be a cohort of PhD and postdoc scientists and engineers who have ideas for big impact innovation. And that can be in those categories that I showed that are challenging to commercialize. They have the high potential for high societal value and economic value, and they're complex and uncertain. And we're going to meet on Wednesday evenings for a year, over 3 semesters. And it's at the downtown campus in the Beedie School of Business. There's lots more on the certificate on the website. And importantly to note, there's a scholarship deadline of April 30th. There are a few scholarships available to kindly provided by VP Research, of which we're very grateful. Check this out. We're going to have a poster booth at lunch, and please come and talk to me if you're interested for yourself or for your grad students. This is our spin-out switch materials. We're very proud of it at SFU, and this is one of our MOT MBA alumni, Dwayne Lamb, who is the VP Product Development there. And so for those of you who put your hand up at the beginning of the talk that you have some interest in seeing your current or past R&D brought to life in adding value to society, please come and talk with us at the lunch break at our poster. Thank you.